Hello and welcome back to My Mom's Basement, presented by 3Chi and Barstool Sports. We are back for another She-Hulk recap. It's She-Hulk episode 3 with Robbie and Clem. Clem, what did you think of She-Hulk episode 3? We just watched it today.
I'm going to mark it in my scorecard right now. 3 for 3. We're 3 for 3 so far in the She-Hulk episodes or whatever you want to call it. By the way, this isn't really a book. A little blast from the past for everyone watching on YouTube right here. We found this going through some old stuff. It is an old Netflix disc that you then used to put in your Wii in order to stream Netflix. Wasn't that this is like the bridge between like the old Netflix where it was just nothing but DVDs, and then the new Netflix where you're just streaming shit. This here, right here, and the Wii, which was a revolutionary system back in the day. This was the bridge between the old world and the new world, the Rosetta Stone, if you may. So
some people probably don't even realize that you had to do that at one point. Some people listening to this podcast may not realize you had to like mail away for DVDs at one point for Netflix. I remember we had the plan where you got like 2 at a time. And if you wanted to watch a TV show, you could order like Lost season 4, disc 1 and 2. And then you would, the next order, you would get disc 3 and 4. It was crazy.
It's an absolute different world. Mama Clem was in on 2 things extremely early: Amazon and Netflix. I'm telling you, we were like double-digit customer ID numbers because she was that quick on them. And Netflix, yeah, it's one of those things where, and I remember, I think like if you just got like bad luck and it's like, you know, disc 3 of Lost season 1 just happened to be like taken by everybody. It's like, gotta wait. What else do you want sent to you as you're waiting for episode, disc 3? So a different world. So yeah, I guess this is a streaming show too. So it kind of shows, without that to get here, God, there's probably people who weren't even born when like the Wii was made. Like hey, listen, if you weren't born when the Wii was invented, you shouldn't be on Barstool. What are you doing? What are your parents doing?
You shouldn't be listening to this. Yeah, we're probably saying things that are a bit too inappropriate. And maybe you shouldn't be watching She-Hulk because we had some moments in this that were even a little risque. Was Sienna watching this with you today?
I was watching it with Sienna and AJ, actually, now that I think about it. Shoot.
You get into catfishing, twerking, all of it.
The funny thing is, they are more in tune with like all this stuff than I am at this point, right? You know what they said today, Bob? I swear, Scouts on it, they came up with this themselves. And I'm sure Sienna's heard me say it. She goes, that guy, the guy who was Abomination, she goes, he's sus. She called him sus, Bob. She called him. And then AJ goes,
did your heart just like become warm in that moment?
It became warm. And it also is like I started as a joke being the old man saying a sus list. And these kids who are in like the thick of like the pop beginning and getting the pop culture are calling people sus. And I'm like, oh man, I am officially
the sus list junior.
Yeah, it involves one person, the guy that turns into the giant monster. They don't think levels like me and say a dog that's about to get killed is sus. They call it like they see it. So
it's the JV sus list. Let's be honest.
Yes, exactly. The literal elementary school sus list. But yeah, 3 for 3 on my scorecard. I'm very happy. And I said I was 3 for 3. I tweeted it. A few people are like, oh, I hated it or I didn't like it. That's fine. I'll be honest with you. I want either shows like Loki, right, or WandaVision, which are pretty in depth and give you a lot of stuff, or I want shows like this where it's funny, it knows what it is, it doesn't try to be anything more. And as our girl Jen said, it's not a cameo show, but it's a cameo show. Let's call it what it is. And she's having fun with it. She's like, don't forget who show this is anyway. So again, I'm grinning ear to ear. I look forward to Thursday mornings now, thanks to the release of She-Hulk. It's God's honest truth, and I can watch with my kids, which I think is cool.
Let's get right into this episode. I agree with pretty much everything you said there. Like, I love that it's a comedy, courtroom comedy set in the Marvel universe. Like, it doesn't feel like a Marvel show every scene. Some scenes of Hulk fight, whatever. But a lot of it just feels like a courtroom show, and it's cool. Like, I like that. I wrote for one scene when they cut to, spoiler alert, when they cut to, like, Megan Thee Stallion, like, watching the one court case, it reminded me a little bit of the courtroom scene in Big Daddy, where it's like just like chaos kind of unfolding. And yeah, I had a few Chardonnays. What of it? Like all of that. Like I was just like, this is so like ridiculous and funny, but I like it. It involves Wong. It involves She-Hulk. This episode starts in Emil Blonsky's prison, because at the end of the last episode, we found out he broke out as Abomination, fought Wong and Shang-Chi and whatnot. And Jennifer feels betrayed. She goes in like, what the fuck? I just told you, like, we're going to get you out of this case. Then you break out and you fight. He says Wong forced him to escape and he chose to come back to prison. This wasn't his idea or anything. And Jennifer, like you said, clarifies about this show. It's not going to be a cameo fest. Like, I mean, Wong and Bruce and so-and-so and Abomination, whatever. But it's not going to be a cameo fest. And we already know Megan Thee Stallion's coming later on in this episode. Daredevil's coming later on. Like, it's a bit of a cameo show. And I like that. And we get a very funny compilation of online She-Hulk backlash that people have already put side by side with the real backlash when the show was announced. It's pretty much, they took it word for word. It's the, how are you going to give a male superhero to a female superhero? Just come up with your own character. She-Hulk, that's the worst name ever. Oh my God, this is so woke. Very funny, very self-aware.
And the dude saying I'd smash. And let's be honest, we see She-Hulk
at the end, yeah.
I'll tell you, I made this, admission when we were previewing She-Hulk back in the day. Teenage Clem wanted to smash She-Hulk because She-Hulk was goddamn sexy as a motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie. And it's a little less problematic to say you want to smash Nala because she's a cartoon lion. Cartoon She-Hulk, comic book She-Hulk, nonetheless. God damn. So
very sexualized. If you look at some of the old comic book covers, you're like, is this a pinup or is this a comic book?
And like you said, the social media reaction makes it feel very real. Even like the tabloid TV circuit where it's like you can tell, oh, this one's geared a little more towards girls. This is like the quote unquote news show, and it definitely makes you feel like you're all in it. And even with Wong, when they're showing like his like social media profile, and I was like, oh shit, like Wong has himself a Facebook page or whatever it is. This was my question. I didn't know what they were looking at first. And I don't know if it was supposed to be a dating app. And then the girl was like, I'm going to send him a thirst trap. It would just be a pile of books. Again, how can you not just enjoy the shit? They're having fun. They're cracking jokes about like all our favorite characters in the MCU, which again,
they're like basically cracking the jokes that we crack on this show, to be honest.
Exactly. It's straight out of My Mom's Basement. It's fucking Kevin Smith Clerks level kind of just nonsensical banter. That's the kind of shit that we've been looking for. We asked for this exact show when I was like, I hope She-Hulk is like basically powered by cameos. They just admitted that's exactly what they're doing. And this show right here, look at these two fucking beautiful faces. These are the face of the Wong fan club. And we got our boy there.
Yeah.
Now, do you think Wong has a dating app? If so, how many and which one is his like go-to? This is also
he does.
Okay. So I have been married before dating apps were even, I'm pretty sure I was married before Tinder was even like a thing. Or if it was a thing, it was probably only by the people like San Francisco who invented it. Bob Fox has Lady Fox. He's not on the dating apps. Is Tinder still
never been on a dating app?
Never been on a dating app.
I don't think so. I think I see Raya all the time on Dumois. I follow Dumois. It's like a gossip app or whatever, blind gossip. And I see Raya come up all the time. It's one that you got to get like approved for. So you got to like be a somebody. You got to like get a recommendation. I think that's the hot one in the streets right now.
That's the big one. Bumble, is Bumble one?
Bumble is one. I recently heard of a couple that got together. Someone that I know, one of my friends, through Bumble.
Oh, there we go. That's a free. Hey, Bumble, you want to fucking
Bumble's still out there.
You want to dating apps have to be big for the basement boys, right? Like, come on. I'm sure there's a few people here looking for love, right?
Bumble is probably the biggest one because the girl's got to message you first. That seems like a nerd to me.
Someone working in the Bumble corporate department. Let's let our friends. Shit, I was gonna say the Biggie line. I completely screwed up. But listen, just advertise with the basement boys, keep the lights on, all that good stuff. I almost want Wong to be on one. I wonder if at some point there will be like a superhero only dating site, right? Where it's like you have to have hours of some
there
sort.
Might be that in She-Hulk, yeah.
You could see that, right? You already have the law department
Absolutely.
Strictly for supers. Now we're going to be doing it again. I wonder if that happened in The Boys already, because I feel like that's something they would have said. It could have been a line I just missed. I feel like that would be a very Boys thing for that to happen.
Yeah. The next scene, She-Hulk, aka Jennifer, is assigned to her old friend Dennis's case against his ex-girlfriend. Dennis was getting catfished by the lights just went off in this room. Look at this is what happens when I do a podcast in Barstool HQ. It's like a bathroom when you're pooping and the lights turn off because of the inactivity. It's one of those motion sensors.
We go to HQ and it's just nothing but problems.
Every 10 minutes, it's going to look like The Undertaker's making a run-in on this podcast. I did write, let's call a spade a spade. my God, the CGI did not look good in this scene. It's kind of getting called out on Twitter already. I've been defending the show. I've been defending even the CGI through the premiere. It started looking a little bit less good in episode 2, I thought, and it looked even less good in episode 3. It's specifically on She-Hulk when she starts walking and movement and stuff. When she's sitting down, it's a little better. I thought Abomination looked fine later on in the episode. I thought Hulk looked amazing in episode 1. Maybe they have that build already, that texture. They could just use the character from Endgame or whatever in this. But yeah, I mean, we've heard a lot about Marvel rushing their CGI artists, maybe not paying them well enough. And then the great CGI artists are shied away from the studio. They're like, I don't want to work with you. They got to do something. They got to do a little overhaul, because for the MCU, I did think this was a little bit lacking.
Fix it, Feige. Fix it. Listen, we're the Trust the Feige fan club here. We're your guys. You got to fix it. And again, I have no idea if the CGI was good or bad. Let me tell you what I was doing during this scene. Both kids were climbing literally on me. I was on the recliner, and I had Sienna in one arm, and AJ just climbing up my body because he wanted to sit with me. So I was like trying to just hear, let alone watch.
Like, did I just hear Megan Thee Stallion? What?
And God's honest truth with Megan Thee Stallion, if you played her 5 most popular songs, I might know one. Sienna,
come on, you know the one from the end of the episode, the body, yaddy, 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 yaddy. You know that one.
I kind of know it. It's really out of my orbit, man. You have to understand, I am so washed. I blogged something that will be up by the time this episode comes out, and it was her twerking on a phone. Did you see this video?
No, I figured you were talking about the post-credit scene.
The post-credit scene we'll get to, but a fan threw his phone on the stage, and she twerked to the phone, and he has this little like video of just her ass bouncing in it, and I'm like, oh boy, this is I'll
check it out. I'll click on that blog.
Sienna won't be looking at that one. So this is my way of trying to put My Mom's Basement into nerds' brains. But I have no idea if the CGI is good or bad, because I barely got to see it, and I don't really understand CGI. Like I said, this was my note from that scene. Dennis Bukowski kind of sounds like Dennis Bukaki. That was my 2 cents. And I think the guy is kind of a human Bukaki, right? Like the
guy's such a dick. He calls himself a New York 10 and an LA 11. Like, he has lines like that. Just a cock. Yeah, absolutely. Wong appears. He references erasing everyone's memory in Spider-Man, which I thought was interesting.
Awesome.
This takes place, I think, in between Spider-Man and Multiverse of Madness, obviously right after Shang-Chi. So he's already done the erasing everyone's memory, or Doctor Strange did it. And, he was, I guess, involved because he's the Sorcerer Supreme. I don't think they've gone through the Multiverse of Madness, because they reference, I could have given Emil Blonsky like a suite at Carmitage or whatever he says. And he turned it down. He wanted to go back to prison. It's not beautiful post Multiverse of Madness, right? Because that shit got wrecked by the Scarlet Witch.
It looks like HQ after a flood, which just happened there as well. Right?
Yeah. So I was like, all right, maybe he made the right call going back to prison, because she might have fucking destroyed the Abomination, Illuminati style, if he were there.
That's actually a great call. I didn't think about that. He also references the Shadow Realm, which I appreciated. And then how about the reason he broke him out of jail was because he was looking for a worthy opponent. And that was from Shang-Chi, right? Where we see them fighting each other. Yeah. So I like kind of the crossover there. And, there was a lot of talk. Like, Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme, is Wong worthy of the Sorcerer Supreme? He's kind of been his apprentice. It's weird seeing the apprentice take the throne. My Sorcerer Supreme, a.k.a. Wong, the Sorcerer Supreme, he's looking to get all his badges up, right? It's like it's a video game. Yeah. He's not looking. He's going all Madden on these motherfuckers and just dusting the Abomination in the fucking octagon. That's my Sorcerer
And I think
Supreme.
He gave him money afterwards, too. He was like, I'll hook you up. Here's, Wong pays his fighters.
Yeah, Wong takes care of his guys. I'm not going to say a guy who might not take care of his guys because he's a friend of the program.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Not on this show.
Not on this show. Don't say it.
Way too many views for the My Mom's Basement YouTube channel to say anything of the case. And I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just a fucking professional idiot. I don't follow. That's Bob's realm of stuff here. Yeah. But our boy Wong, he's like, I'll get you a fucking suite at the I can never say it. Carmitage.
Carmitage, yeah.
Carmitage. So our guy Wong is A+ Sorcerer Supreme. I'm going to say he's better than Strange, and that's only because I like him.
I know. I love Wong. Dennis says he spent $175,000 on his catfish, and he walks out. He walks right back, and he's like, you know what? I've had a change of heart. I'm actually going to drop the case. Like, what are you talking about? It's actually the shapeshifter from New Asgard appearing as him. She does this again later on in the episode as the judge, and she fucking got me again. I was like, what did the judge just hear?
Dude, I can't. That was so fucked up throwing a shape-shifting elf, Asgardian elf at us right now, because I was like, dude, I got my first scroll here. I was like, I fucking nailed it. I know that's a scroll. Turns out it was the elf. Even the way I think in one of the scenes, like she looks at the Red Bull can a little weird, like, what is this? And I was like, oh, that's the Skrulls. They don't have Red Bull in whatever scroll in whatever planet they're from. And of course, it was the Asgardian elf, which again, this is what world building where you're having the Asgardians deal with like everyday people. I'm just so fucking happy.
It's comic book shit.
Figuring this out.
It's such a comic booky show. Like even though we're saying it doesn't feel like a comic book movie or a comic book show that we're used to, there are these aspects of it that do expand the Marvel universe in a way where you're like, holy shit, every episode I'm coming away learning like 4 new fun things about Marvel.
Yep, exactly. The one thing I didn't like, that shot they took about the Passat, like you think Megan the Stallion drives a Passat? I'm like, oh man, like the Passat drivers don't need to be taken. I remember there was there's an old Kanye line where it's like, what do you think of RAV4 to push a fucking RAV4? And I'll tell you, Rob, we were looking in the price range of the RAV4 back in the day. It was the RAV4, the CRV, and the Honda or the Ford Escape. And we went with the Escape, and I was like, Kanye told me the RAV4 is lame in a song that was made probably 10 years earlier, and I still couldn't do it. So the Passat took one right directly on the chin there. That was tough to see.
By the way, no free ads, but Megan the Stallion had the hottie sauce at Popeyes. And the one around the office over here had a sign up permanently during the promotion, like, we are sold out. Don't even ask about it. So she is like a true force. And Popeyes today, truly no free ads because they fucking, I got a chicken sandwich. They gave me 2 bottoms as the buns.
That's unacceptable. You can't, the Popeye sandwich, the chicken sandwich.
The top is like one of the best parts of the whole sandwich.
Yeah, it's other than the actual, the patty itself. You can give me 2 tops. Don't give me 2 bottoms. Maybe that could be the.
There's a lucky guy out there with 2 tops.
What if that's the Megan Thee Stallion special though? 2 bottoms. That's kind of her thing. Am I wrong? Is Megan the Stallion's? I wrote the blog.
Nice.
I kept calling her
talking buns.
We're talking buns here. We're talking buns. We're talking butts. I kept calling her Miss the Stallion. And what does the extra E stand for? Megan Thee Stallion? Do you know?
Extra.
Excellent singer.
Oh,
I'm dad joking to death right now, Bob. But I will say this about the Popeyes chicken sandwich. It is one of the very, very rare things that was hyped up on the internet that exceeded my expectations when I ate it. And the only way I could describe that sandwich was you bite it and it bites you back because it was like a hunk of chicken I've never had in a chicken sandwich before. Absolutely top notch. And I kind of made this reference the other day. So for any of the Star Wars fans listening, me and Robbie are going to be the Popeyes worker when we have to do the first recap for Andor, which is a 3-episode premiere. A 3-episode. What are we fucking doing right now? And when does that come out?
Sometime in September this month, late September 21st, maybe.
Oh, I'm gonna have the Mets cooking, Giants cooking, NFL going on, She-Hulk, Game of Thrones, all this kind of stuff, and then we're dropping a 3-hour tour on our asses.
Remember when we did Obi-Wan? It was 2 hours, and we did like 2 separate episodes. I assume we'll probably do it like that. Put it all together on the podcast feed or something. I mean, I guess we'll probably put it on the podcast feed. That's a big one. I don't know. We'll figure it out when
lots going on in the basement right now. Lots going on in the basement.
We go back to the Emil Blonsky case. This is the actual case now. Wong is late. Blonsky kind of like he gives a good speech to the court and everything, but he's reluctant in his first answer. And Jennifer's just kind of like everything's going wrong for me right now. Wong finally shows up. He starts giving his case, and then they cut to the Dennis catfish case, and the shapeshifter from New Asgard has a very funny line where she's like, no, I have like diplomacy or whatever here, diplomatic immunity, because Asgard is a people, it's not a place. And they're like, Thor's speeches do not hold up in court. Her motion to dismiss is denied. She goes and acts as the judge real quick. We go back to the Emil Blonsky case. Wong gives the whole speech where he says, I offered him the suite at Carmitage. He said no, wanted to come back. He turns into the Abomination to show them, hey, I'm actually in control of this. He's like Smart Hulk, essentially, where he's like, I'm not a crazy rage monster when I turn into this. And Jennifer testifies that in the catfish case, Dennis is so delusional, he definitely got catfished. She's like, there's no doubt he got fooled. He thought he was dating Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion was there, and Dennis gives her an idea. he's like, I wish there was some way that, you know, we could not use the powers or whatever. He says some shit. And then she goes back and says, okay, what if we put the little thing on him? He can't turn into the abomination. Then he gets out. It's like an inhibitor, something like that. And he's released. She wins her. I think this was her first like win because the other one got dismissed. Her first case of the show.
Yep. First thing that kind of hit me as you were saying that Dennis, when I was a kid, I feel like Dennis was kind of a nerdy name. Dennis is now like
really? I always think like Dennis the Menace.
I guess, but like Dennis the Menace, but then other than him, Dennis seemed like an old man's kind of name, like an older man's name, right? Like no one was naming their kids Dennis. I didn't know Dennis's growing up, right? So that's just me. However, Dennis's now are kind of like horn dogs between this guy and the Dennis from Always Sunny. like those two, you could not have near each other. That would be just problematic city. Those two guys anywhere near each other. This is a take, and I want to know if you agree. They kept calling him Abomination, but he's in his human, like regular, normal form. I don't think you should be calling these guys their hero or villain names if they're not in their form. Like fucking the Hulk gets to be called Bruce when he's fucking, you know, human. So
I think Jennifer feels the same way as you. She says it on the news. In the next scene, she goes on the news and someone is like saying, oh, the Abomination She-Hulk. And she's like, actually, his name is Emil Blonsky and my name is Jennifer Walters. Like she points it out almost as like, I think she's getting a little annoyed by that as well.
Well, Jennifer, when you're in Hulk form, you're fucking She-Hulk. I don't care. I'm going to go the other way, though. When you're in the form, you cannot then be like, I feel like Tony Stark, if he's in a suit, that's Tony. My dog, Tony Stark, RIP my dog, Tony Stark. But when he's in the Iron suit, that is Iron Man, right? So,
yeah.
And your boy Cap, Steve Rogers, if he's fucking wearing a t-shirt and shorts,
Agreed.
He's rocking the fucking suit or he has the shield in hand, he's the Cap.
Question. What if he's got the Cap suit, no helmet? See, that's
Does he have the shield? Does he have the shield?
Let's say it's Infinity War times and he's got no shield.
I'll be honest with you. I feel like if I go back to the Infinity War, if I look at closed captions, it says Steve Rogers arrives. It doesn't say Captain America arrives. Right? Am I right or am I right, Bob? I'm right. I think
you
right.
might be right about that.
I've watched that movie a lot.
The shield makes him Cap.
Yeah, the shield, or at least like
I don't hate that logic. I think that's pretty good. Yeah. So as She-Hulk is leaving, oh yeah, go ahead.
Another thing out here turns out. All right. This was an L for the sus list. The sus pen pals that we were talking about, they're just all chicks. Our boy Abomination, He loves the babes. He's just basically looks like he's trying to set up his own cult, like the dude in
looks like Midsommar. They're in the gowns and the flower head dresses. Yeah.
What was that name? Doc Antil from Tiger King. Like it had those guys. Did you watch Tiger King?
Yeah.
Like it feels like that creepy kind of vibe.
It hot. Yeah.
Yeah, you watched it when we were all going to hell.
Yeah, pretty much.
And my guy Wong taking shrapnel for being late. Wong is keeping multiple realms in fucking check and alive at this point. You cannot be like Wong. You have to be there at 1 o'clock. We're not operating on Coughlin time for Wong. Has to be there 15 minutes early. Wong, you show up, awesome. If not, like try to like text me a video of your statement. But he's keeping shadow realms, multiverses. I don't know what he's diving into at
Look
this
at
point.
Multiverse of Madness. Was he like using this to be like, oh, you know what? Like, I'll deal with the Multiverse of Madness, but I got to go to court. Like,
yeah,
what are we talking about? I agree with you. Given Wong shit, they're like, he's got no commute time. How could he possibly be late? He might be in a different multiverse, lady.
You don't even know. You don't even know.
You got no
what
idea.
Wong is.
Don't give a guy Wong shit.
It would take you like 3 years worth of studying to understand the shit is Wong is even going to different dimensions, multiverses. Don't you? How dare you
realize? Wong saved Tony Stark's life in Central Park in Infinity War. And without that, does Tony Stark save the universe? Probably not.
Definitely not. He got invited to the wedding. He got invited to... Did he even go to the wedding?
One of the best lines in the entire... No, there was no wedding.
There was no wedding. Is that confirmed?
Because, I mean, he rest in peace. You know, he died.
Didn't he marry Pepper, though?
Well, I guess the wedding was eventually... He probably was at the wedding. We didn't see the wedding.
But did he get snapped?
He probably... I think he was married.
Didn't Wong get snapped? Or did he not?
No, Wong didn't get snapped. Yeah.
No, I think Wong took over Sorcerer Supreme when Strange was gone, right?
You're right.
We're figuring this out on the fly, people. I apologize. So, okay, Wong might have been at the wedding. And then Wong, I think Wong might be a fish guy at the wedding. Remember, we were trying to decide what I always get the steak.
Oh, my God, the Undertaker's here again. That would be a good what if, though. Tony Stark's wedding. It's not even a what if. Just give us a little story of like what happened at Tony Stark's wedding. The few people that were around, it was probably a small ceremony, right? It was probably a little bittersweet not having some of his favorite people there, but was there like a little funny hijinks? Who was in the wedding party? Was there a funny entrance, like someone walking in doing something funny?
Yeah.
Someone slip or something on the dance floor?
I'll guarantee the worst entrance of all was Rhodey. He's like just not made for that. It's like the super serious friend that's always coming in a little. He's trying to be fun. It's like, yeah, you're a little too boxy, my dude. And that actually, the Tony Stark wedding is actually kind of fucking sad because I don't even know if they had a ceremony, like a legit reception and everything. Like they might have just had a little gone to the courthouse or maybe a little private
backyard thing.
Yeah,
they had that nice house. Yeah.
I imagine there weren't a lot of big lavish parties being thrown during the 5-year period when half the universe got wiped out. And then, I mean, a bunch of his other work friends aren't talking to him anymore, right? Because there was all the estrangement going on with the Avengers. So
I bet they had the wedding right where, not to bring up old stars, but where they had his funeral. I bet they had the wedding right on that little back porch, that little yard with the lake in the back. It was beautiful.
Actually, you know what? Fuck it. We're making like, if Feige's not going to give it to us, we're going to give it to ourselves right now. I'm telling you right now. This is canon.
We'll hit up Waldron, yeah.
In my mind, no, I'm telling you right now what happened. One was the he did the.
Oh, he's the minister or whatever. He got ordained. Yeah.
It's like do you need like someone like Tony doesn't strike me as a religious guy. Neither does Pepper. No, and like I feel like if you're a sorcerer supreme, that's basically like being a god, right? So it's like you're good. Like do a couple little sparkly things. And
it's someone you could trust. You want to keep it private. You don't want to hire someone you don't know to do the wedding. And then what if pictures get out? I'm sure they wanted to keep it in house.
Yes, exactly. And I will say, I wish someone else played Pepper Potts because every time I think of Pepper Potts, I think of Gwyneth Paltrow and how she's too good for the MCU.
You think of the goop candles?
Oh God, it smells like that.
All right, so the ending of this episode. On her way out of the news hit, she gets attacked by this weird gang. It seems like maybe they have powers or they have weapons with energy powers. They all have different colors on their energy weapons or whatever it is. It's like a helmet or whatever. They attack her as Jennifer.
Did you rob a Asgardian construction worker is what they said. And they're like, actually,
that's exactly a pretty good line. Yeah. She gets attacked as Jennifer and then quickly realizes like, oh, wait a minute, I'm the Hulk, and turns into She-Hulk, gets them off. They tried to stab her with something, and then as they leave, they're like, did you get it? And he's like, no, I couldn't pierce the skin as soon as she turned into the Hulk. He says like that gross green skin. I was like, oh, that's a bit racist. I think they wanted her blood. I would assume that's what they were trying to get because that was the whole storyline in the first episode. Bruce was like, your blood cannot get out there. This could turn someone else into the Hulk. And then in the post-credit scene, Megan Thee Stallion twerking with She-Hulk. Unreal. Didn't expect to see that. It's going to be a meme for life, though.
Definitely a meme for life. I already have it in the blog. Threw it up as a GIF. Got it in there. That crew, it reminded me of I think it's called Mastermen, the Ben Stiller like superhero movie, where it's kind of like these like
I haven't seen that.
I think that's the name of it. Let me just double check. I only remember it as the commercial. I've never seen the movie.
Yeah,
but let's see, Ben Stiller.
They reminded me
Mystery
of
Men, not Mastermen.
Haven't seen that either. These villains reminded me of like Ninja Turtles villains.
That's a good call too. I like that. Not foot soldiers, not Shredder, but like the guys kind of in between those two extremes, right? I could get down with that.
Like Bebop and Rocksteady hired them to do something.
And they definitely were going for the blood to make their own Hulk, which is probably going to be, the end game here. And they say the boss is going to be mad. Now, Robbie Fox, let me ask you, who do you think the boss is here?
You know what's a shame is if he didn't just unfortunately die, I would have thought Thunderbolt Ross is trying to become like the Red Hulk, because we had that as something in the cards. But I don't know now. I do think the boss, whoever that is, will become the Red Hulk.
Okay.
Could be wrong. Maybe it's a chick and they don't want to do Red She-Hulk before Red Hulk. But just something in my mind goes, we're going towards like maybe a World War Hulk where let's get that in there.
Okay. I think and only because I know he's in this, I think we're dealing with Kingpin. And Kingpin might be wanting to do that at some point down the road. Kingpin confirmed trying to make his own Hulk. All right, get your surprise face for the YouTube clip.
So that'll be the thumbnail, and then it'll say, we'll put a little Kingpin trying to make Hulk.
And then as for our boy, Emil
Blonsky.
Emil. I keep adding an O. I add an O at the end because our boy Elio. So I have Elio and Emil.
I thought you were going to call him Emilio Estevez.
I'm going Portnoy, man. Portnoy, I realize a lot of Portnoy's things are age-related because my brain is starting to go as well, even when it comes to name. I think he kind of proved himself to be a pretty fucking good guy, right? When it all took,
I think so, yeah.
We learned. Yeah, and even when he like goes back and kind of like maybe retcons the creation of his character, he's like, I thought I was doing the right thing. Then like the stuff like he helped the guard out. Like I was like, you're a really good guy, Emil. I think even though you're kind of creating a cult and maybe a sex cult with these 7 lovely ladies, I thought that was kind of weird. But I think then this is my call right now. We could put this on the fucking thing too. Did we already confirm? So Abomination to Thunderbolts. I think this is another step towards that journey because all these Thunderbolts characters, they have that gray in them. It's not a very dark black and white character. It is just gray. And I think he kind of fits that gray area now. So I'm calling it now that actually, fuck it. I'll say the season finale. One of the post-credit scene will be him getting recruited to this Thunderbolts team. I'm calling it right now. What is it, episode 3? Well, how many episodes?
She goes to the, I don't know, actually. 8, maybe?
Okay.
I would guess 6, 8. Miss Marvel had 6, but this is a shorter runtime, so maybe they extended. I don't know.
Yep.
I would like to see that. She goes to his little meditation retreat and recruits him towards the Thunderbolts or whatever her team is, the Dark Avengers, if you want to call it that. I also think Tim Roth is like very, very good in this role. He seems like he was enjoying it in the scenes. Like he's funny. He's putting a lot into the character. He's getting stuff out of the character that he didn't get in the past in the first movie. I thought it was a very smart move by Marvel to bring him back.
Big Tim Roth guy. I love him in like the Tarantino stuff, the early Tarantino stuff. Yeah. That's kind of the shit I grew up with. I just love him. And like getting a second life in the MCU. It's like, oh shit. Like the character kind of sucked. Like, yeah, dude. A lot of people fucked up way back then. Like, come on in, welcome back. Obviously, Portman came back into Thor.
It's crazy that it was like 2008 that movie came out. Like, it's been a fucking long time since he was in the MCU. It's crazy.
You want to feel a little older here? Well, before we were talking about this goddamn disc, I looked up when the Wii was made. 2006, 16 years ago. So you know what? A 16-year-old could definitely be watching this, and that's really not terrible.
That's actually kind of appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching much worse at much younger.
If you guys didn't turn off the video, we apologize, and you guys can watch as much Barstool as you want. Tell all your friends, subscribe to you guys know how to subscribe. You're probably the only people that know how to subscribe to YouTube's at this point. So we rely on you guys and all your friends to subscribe. So I take it back. I do also, this is another take I had. I do think inhibitors are going to be more of a thing, maybe with like the Hulk stuff and all that. And I just looked it up. 9 episodes long, She-Hulk. 9 episodes. Okay. Kind of a weird number. Seems like
one more secret.
By the way, who just did that? Someone just did a secret episode.
The Sandman on Netflix.
Everyone seemed,
which we got to talk to Jose about at some point. I haven't checked it out yet. I heard good things. I heard bad things. Seems like some people were upset with some of the changes they made, but overall, I think most people liked it. That's Jose's like all-time favorite comic, so I'm sure
we have to just watch it for Jose at this point. Like that's just our guy, you know.
We owe it to him.
The only other note I had here from the actual episode was when she looks over the camera and goes, we're connecting to the A story to the B story. Like, I always love that. The all-time greatest show when it came to A and B stories was The Simpsons. You would watch The Simpsons. You'd be like, oh, it's the one where Homer eats the buffet. The first half of that episode is something completely unrelated to it. It always amazed me how they could get from A to B with the most like something that's just not related at all. So I like that was a kind of a fun little thing. They do the nods to the Marvel, but they also do the nods to like plot structure and all your cinematic devices. I'm talking cinematic devices, Bob. The brain is popping right now. I can't pronounce a meal worth of fucking damn, but I'm talking fucking like 7th grade English terms I'm bringing up here.
I love it. All right, that was She-Hulk episode 3. We'll be back on YouTube again for a YouTube exclusive recap of She-Hulk episode 4. And on the podcast feed, we are still going along with House of the Dragon. It's available on the My Mom's Basement podcast feed and on the Game of Stools podcast feed, where we were the number 2 recap in the United States of America besides the official HBO one. This week, breaking news. Boom, boom, boom. Breaking news. We got Will Compton coming on from Bussin' with the Boys. You may know him from plenty of Barstool things. We've done plenty of podcasts.
The NFL, you may know him from the National Football League.
You may know him from the National Football
Your
League.
team.
He played some football, some pigskin, correct? We're going to have him on the podcast and hope we get above HBO.
The bus and push would be unbelievable. To be honest with you, I'm just looking forward to chopping it up with Will because I met him at the Dozen tournament. He's just like a fun, happy. He's like a big puppy, man. He's just a fun, happy dude. And he changed his name to the Game of Thrones thing as soon as it went live. So I'm going to be stoked for that. And I'm, again, honestly stoked for the next Shield. In the comments, who do you think the boss is that they were talking about?
Yeah.
Who do you think the boss is in the comments there? So let it be known.
And do you think I'm right about the Red Hulk thing? Like, let me know if you think I'm right about that. All right. We will talk to you guys. We will talk to you guys next week.
Oh, Bob, also I'm going to do this live on the pod. In the thumbnail, put the twerking somewhere on it too, just to help out our clicks.
Oh, yeah. Good call.